Welcome back to another Student Pages interview spotlight. Everyone, it's me, Jaden. Welcome back. Today we are joined by Mickey Callisto. How's it going?
I'm all good, Jaden.
Now that's awesome to hear. So, Mickey, you've had a lot going on recently, but before we get into all the recent stuff, I do just want to take a few steps back, talk a little bit about how you got into music and the music industry in general, and also your time on Britain's Got Talent. So, yeah, just take us back. How did this all begin for you?
God, I mean, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. I think the first time I started singing, I was 7 year old, and I was really inspired by the choristers. I got into classical music first. I taught myself to sing opera, but then, as you know, it's an expensive thing to pursue. So when my voice broke,
Oh yeah.
I got a grant for the lessons, but I didn't get the travel, and obviously me and my dad couldn't afford at the time to go down to London from Sunderland. You've seen the price of trains now. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Horrid, aren't they?
So that fell through, but then coincidentally, after my voice broke, my school would host an auditions for We Will Rock You, the musical. And at the time, my teacher was like, "Oh, why don't you audition?" And I turned to him and I'm like, "Rock music." You know what I mean? Because I used to love opera.
Yeah.
So it was like, just audition, see how you do. So I sang "I Want to Break Free" for my audition, and my teacher was like, "I'm not going to lie, you've got quite a similar tone to Freddie Mercury." And I thought Freddie Mercury was Jimi Hendrix at the time when I was younger.
Really?
Honestly, yeah, I didn't know who he was, and I think because people ask me, "Is this your natural voice?" And it is my natural voice, but I think it comes from being quite operatic. Because Freddie was a bit operatic himself. He done
Yeah.
Barcelona and things like that. So discovered who Queen were, and like I found my calling for music, and he was my first real big inspiration for to be a singer. And I think the reason he's been such a good inspiration was because I can sing rock music, I can sing pop music, ballads. It's made me a versatile performer and also a versatile songwriter. So that was my first calling for singing. In terms of in terms of actually getting into songwriting, I wanted to capture the essence and the performance of that Freddie done, but I wanted to make my music slightly different to make myself unique. So when I'm not singing, I love raving. I mean, and I went to a rave in Manchester, and I had this wall of quadraphonic sound of synths, dance music, and I wore a ski suit. The worst decision in the world, I tell you. And then there and then was my calling for Mickey Callisto, which is when then I started writing my own songs, and that's started
No,
to take off
absolutely.
massively.
No, you've done immensely well for yourself. And I mean, what about Britain's Got Talent as well? Because obviously, I think your performance not as viral as recent stuff, but that went pretty viral at the time as well. Because again, the comparisons between your own voice and Freddie Mercury, like you said, uh, absolutely there. And I think people noticed. I think that was definitely noticed.
Yeah, our Britain's Got Talent was it was amazing. I mean, I'd had a couple of videos go viral on TikTok before that, so the show got in touch with me. My manager actually advised me to say no to the show at first because you see, it can be quite scripted and superficial. So I was a bit wary of that, but I thought, you know what, I love singing. And whether I'm singing in a pub to 10 people, to millions of people who have seen it, like it's my form of therapy, and I love making people happy. And I think music gives everyone that escapism, and it certainly gives it to me.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it gave you the platform to share your voice as well. You know what I mean? I don't think it matters how it gets out there. I think so long as it does, I think, yeah, absolutely the right call. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. The recent flash mob that went absolutely insanely viral. That was alongside Julien Cohen. Just how did that collaboration come about and how did it feel to actually be asked to be the lead singer of that?
Well, I'd always seen Julian's videos online because like he's massively like some of the projects that he's worked on. Like a magical all over Paris and Europe, and so he asked me to do it, and he had this idea about coming in on a carriage, opera singers, and I was like, if we can pull this off, Julian, it's going to be mad. But then Ollie, who was on Britain's Got Talent as well, alongside me, he was like, "Do you know?" He was like, "Would you be able to get in touch with Ollie?" So I met it, and I was made up when he asked me because I was really inspired by Ollie anyway to see his passion, his talent, and then when that came together, it just made it so much more exciting as well. So Julian's done a phenomenal job. He really has organising all of this together, and it couldn't have went better. It really couldn't have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I'm curious then, how does it feel to sort of, because I imagine doing a flash mob is very different to doing, any other sort of performing because it is so live, and the people around you don't expect it. That's the thing. When you go to a stage show, people are obviously going there because they know what they want to see. When it's a flash mob, that's a very different scenario. So how would you say it compares, and what was sort of the what was going through your head while you were doing
I mean, my first thing was, please don't fall off this bloody carriage, I tell you. I'm
it?
trying to keep me balance on that carriage going over a cobbled street. I was like, so that was me first. But then it is very different to a gig because usually you're on a stage performing out to people, but like it's a 360 performance. So you're trying to like get everyone going, but then you've got opera singers coming in. You've got, you know what I mean? It's very different, but I think we still captured a great like performance. I think everyone felt, as long as people feel involved in a performance, I think that's all that matters, and I think people certainly did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As I say, from the response and like as I say, there's so many different angles and videos of it. Just you could see how much people are getting into it. And yeah, I imagine it'd be tricky, like you say, when you're not performing directly out to an audience, because I think one of the general rules, as you'll know, is you don't turn your back to the audience. It's like, how do you do that when they're all
Yeah,
around you? It's like it's got to be tricky. You're gonna be like turning in circles.
yeah. Well, I do. One of my moves is a 360 spin, so I get the 360 spin. Just that gets them involved. So no, it's difficult, but I think when the audience participate and get into it, that really helps me as well. For me, it ignites a fire within me when people get into it. And like I said, it's a collective effort, and everyone knows the song as well. I can't think of many people who don't know the song Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh no, it's one of the most famous songs of all time, isn't it? So yeah, no,
Rightly so.
just an absolutely phenomenal performance from yourself and the rest of the team there. It was absolutely incredible. Again, obviously wasn't there, but from the videos and stuff, just seems absolutely incredible. So yeah, just huge accomplishment, massive like achievement on that. But obviously that's not all that you do. You have your own music as well with your new single "Take It Easy" out now. You could tell us a little bit about that as well, about like your own creative process and how you sort of come up with your own music.
Well, I record and produce and write most of it myself, to be honest. Take It Easy is basically about, I grew up on a council estate in Sunderland, and like when I made, not fit, not, I'm not playing the sympathy card, but I didn't have no money. And like, I play in a place like Sunderland, there's not much opportunity, to be honest. So that song, "Take It Easy," especially was about trying to get out your environment. In my case, it was moving to uni in Manchester, to the bigger city, to pursue a dream, like from a working class background. But to be honest, that is like in my music that I write. I've got a simple message, and it's motivation and it's positivity. I think right now in the world there's so much bloody like there's so much like sadness, and there's so much despair, and I just think like if I can offer someone that bit of escapism, even if it's just for an hour of their life, then for me it's job done. And that's what my music speaks about. That's what my message is. And I think it's a simple message, but I think it's an effective message, to be honest.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, we need. When I say we, I mean just the general population. We need voices like that. Like you say, it's like we are living in incredibly, scary times. Well, I suppose there's the argument to be made we always have been, but again, I think it's like we do need voices just to sort of remind us that it's like, hey, it's not all bad. There's a bigger picture. It's like stop. No, absolutely. I think it's a fantastic, sort of vision to have and message to spread. I mean, how would you describe your music, and what do you think makes it stand out more than anything?
I think the fact that I see it as having a universal appeal. I think as well, my music's not just in one category. Like I said, I've got rock songs out. I've got that are like really grandiose and really upbeat. I've got dance tracks out, but then also I've got ballads that are very vulnerable, that show more intimacy. And I think that really highlights what I am as a person as well. Like I'm a person of two extremes. Yes, I can be grandiose, I can be mad, I can be crazy, but at the same time there's a vulnerable side. And I think that could be said for most people. You see two sides of people, and sometimes, especially maybe the people who are a bit more introverted than me, might not be able to show that side. So if I can bring that out in people, I think that's what the goal is. But listen, I'll do anything. I don't like to. One of my favorite quotes from David Bowie is "Never get comfortable."
Yeah, no, you make a good point there, actually. It's like, yeah, it's like if you've got these, multifaceted talents, it's like you're going to want to use them at the end of the day. And I think, especially for someone like yourself who has an interest in so many different genres of music, it's like, yeah, why on earth would you restrict yourself to just one? It's like, you do absolutely right. I mean, I guess then on the journey to where you are now, what's the response been from the people around you in your personal life, like your family and friends? It's like, did they always see this path for you, or has it come as a bit of a welcome surprise for them?
Got my family and friends, the support that I've had been like beautiful, to be honest. And I think like people have always had that belief that one day like I will rise to some sort of prominence, but that's because but I wouldn't have done that without their support. You know what I mean? For me, I'm nothing without my fans or the people around me. But one thing I have always been is passionate. It's not just about me, it's about the people as well. And if I can make people feel involved, and I think that's what I do a really good job of, I think that's why it resonates with a lot of people.
It's like about having that immersiveness to you. Yeah, it's like I think people need that definitely. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like if you have the talent and if you have the voice and if you have something about you at the end of the day, people are going to take notice at some point. So it doesn't really surprise me that people to some degree saw this coming for you. It's like, yeah, no, I see the vision. So
Thanks
I mean,
very much.
obviously yeah, no, of course. So I mean, there's obviously the positive, affirmations that you've received, but also I'm curious, being someone that obviously has had a lot of response online, most of which I assume has been extremely positive from what I've seen. How do you deal with the naysayers? How do you deal with the internet clowns that have something awful to say? Because obviously they exist and everyone has them.
I relish in it. It just gives me more of a drive, to be honest. But no, listen, everyone has got their own opinions and everything's subjective. I think there's a lot of people in the Freddie Mercury camp who be like, it's not Freddie without Queen, or it's like who's big support. Listen, I'm admittedly one of the biggest supporters of Freddie. I think that's mainly the negativity that comes. Oh, it's not Freddie, and it's like, well, that's obvious. You know what I mean? Like, no one's Freddie Mercury, but no one's Mickey Callisto either. You know what I mean? It's like
No,
it's what we
100%.
we're all unique in our way. At the end of the day, it's a celebration of music, and it's made the majority of people happy. So I think that's how people should look at it. And if not, then they just need to get a life, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, no, it's an interesting point to make, isn't it? There, actually, it's like, yeah, I'm never going to be him, but he's never going to be me. It's like that's the thing. Everyone has. That's the beautiful thing. People can make the comparisons, but at the end of the day, everyone's individual. Everyone has a different voice. Everyone has a different background. It's like if two people were exactly the same, they'd cancel each other out. It's like there'd be no point in one having a platform, the other not. So no, absolutely. It's like, yeah, you do absolutely right, I think, to make that difference in your head. And I mean, I suppose on a somewhat similar note, then, has there been any run-ins in your life, like either positive or negative, that have made their way into your music? And do you sort of see music as an outlet for, your own experiences, or do you try and make your music as open as possible so anyone can interpret it?
No, it definitely comes from a personal thing. Like I said, all my career, I haven't had like say like either financial backing or I've done a lot of it myself, and I've worked hard for it, and I think and I think a lot of people in the world do that. There's so many people who work. So I've got a single coming up called "Slave to the Man," which is basically about me. For years after uni, I worked in a phone shop. I was working a 9 to 5 job, trying to become a full-time musician, and it's becoming harder and harder for people to. You look at independent businesses, especially since COVID, it's becoming so hard for people to actually achieve their dream. And everyone has dreams, everyone has a passion, but unless you're very very lucky, you've got to work bloody hard to do it.
Oh yeah.
And that's for me. I mean, also as well, like I write about, like, I've got a song called "The Years Go By" coming out as well. It's about someone that you've not seen for a long time. My mum left me when I was younger because she couldn't look after me. It's my dad's birthday today actually, but he
Oh,
died unfortunately 6 years ago.
dreadful. I'm
And
sorry.
through like, it's all right. Through like alcoholism, but he was my biggest inspiration because he was real, and he just.
Mm.
So I've got some stuff that's being wrote about that as well, about like appreciating life, appreciating what the people that you've got before they're gone. So there's more to come, much more to come.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And again, I think it's very admirable to have something like music or anything creative to use as an outlet for, the the hardships of life, I suppose. I think that's something I've always been able to massively look up to because I think to turn something so sad into something so beautiful that people can share as well and that people can relate to, I think that takes a lot of strength, both on the personal level, but also a lot of belief in humanity and people as well. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
just, I think just to yourself, that is something you should really be proud of.
Thank you. And the other message, my main message is I'm very lucky to become at one with me. I've became at one with myself, but a lot of people aren't. And I think it goes like my message is unity. Just be yourself. And we live in a world now where everyone has labels for themselves, and you can be what you want, okay? But like the bottom line is, instead of labeling yourself as something before your name, all that it should be is that you should be Jaden and I should be Mickey, and that's all that
Mm.
should matter. We don't need to. I don't think we need to because I think the more we label ourselves, the more we divide ourselves. So my music is ultimately about unity as well and becoming at one. I want the straightest of person in the world who might be called macho to hang about with a bloody drag queen and have a laugh. You know what I mean? That's what I want people to do.
Yeah, of course, because that's the way it should be. I think I think we are living in a more open world, but I think equally, after saying that, it's like I think for every door that's open, there's another one closed. So I think, yeah, I think we do need to head towards, a future like that. And again, I think it's great that people like yourself are trying to push that message to people. Because again, for every person pushing forward, there's another one fighting back. But at the end of the day, never ends, does it? It's like the
Yeah.
fight goes on. So go on then. I mean, this one's a bit of a kettle of fish, but with social media, how would you sort of view all of that? Because again, obviously the flash mob went massive on Instagram, YouTube, all the platforms. So I imagine you've had a lot of, I hope mostly positive feedback. But how do you sort of view social media in general? Do you see it as like one of those necessary evils that you sort of have to use, or are you actually pretty fond of it and don't have any objections to using it?
I think, God, I think for me, I mean, social media. God, I wouldn't have had this success if it wasn't for social media, to be honest. But I think if I had the choice to be like, as an artist especially, I think the main thing you should have to concentrate on is the music, and obviously your like your artistry. But now you've got to be a good influencer. You've got to be good on social media. I think if I had the choice not to do TikTok and just let the music do all of the speaking for itself and not have to be like, hey guys, such like that,
Yeah.
then I would. But you've got to play the game and you've got to move with the times, haven't you?
Yeah, because again, it's like I think where, say, what, 70 years ago, everything made its way through newspapers and, billboards and stuff. It's like now, I think just most, if not all of big events, big people, all of this stuff, you hear about it on social media. So yeah, it is one of them, isn't it? It's a whole kettle of fish. But no, I'm glad that you're able to sort of manage your relationship with it well, because I think a lot of people really do succumb to it and fall under the pressure.
No, definitely. Like I said, the music should do the talking, and you know what? This in this case it has.
No, 100%. No, I'm totally with you. You've seriously done incredibly well for yourself. And I mean, you mentioned earlier that it's very tricky to sort of do everything on your own, but that you've managed to, sort of make a name for yourself despite everything that's coming your way. But I mean, how important would you say it is to find other people that do what you do, or are also work in the music industry to collaborate with? Would you say that those relationships are necessary, important, or do you think it is possible for people to completely go it alone?
No, 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 no. Collaboration's key. You need everyone around you. You know what I mean? It's like you look at the flash mob, which we're on about now. That wouldn't have been as magical and as grand if it didn't have a whole group of people doing it. Yes, I was the lead singer in it, but like Ollie, the opera singers, Julien, the musicians, they all. And look, if you look at Freddie and Queen themselves. Freddie was phenomenal, but the music wouldn't be as good if he didn't have Brian May behind him. Roger Taylor on the drums and John Deacon, you know what I mean? Because that's what made
Yeah.
it. So no, you need a team of people around you. You can be the vessel with your talent, but like I said before, you're nothing without the people around you supporting you.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, if you'd gone into the middle of Paris and just started singing without a microphone, I think, people might have looked at you like, what on earth's he doing? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think when you have all the backing and the right people and stuff, yeah, it becomes something magical, doesn't it? No doubt. massively helped by yourself. But like you say, it's like if you didn't have the rest of those team, wouldn't have been anywhere near as much as the shebang that it was, I guess. So I mean, all of this aside, the music aside, flash mob aside, looking in just at yourself, what do you do to keep yourself entertained? It's like, does the music just consume you? Is that all that you do, or do you have any other hobbies that you pursue outside of it?
I mean, these days it became a bloody 24-hour job, I tell you. Because, like I said, it's not just about being a musician. You've got to be on the social media constantly. And it's getting to the point where I think I do need a bigger team of people around me. And I think that will come, but it's a 24-hour job. But when I'm not doing that, I love sports. I love me. I've just recently stopped playing as a goalkeeper because I love me football. That obviously it's on the weekends. I'm gigging most weekends, so I love me football. I love cooking as well. Again, another thing I'd like to do, but now I can't because I've got to go out singing. I love raving. I love to go out and dance. Like honestly, you think I go mad on stage? You should see me at a rave. I tell you.
So, us being student pages, then we obviously like to give advice to students, sort of, around any stage of education, really, but mainly sort of the university, college levels. What advice would you give to people around that age and around that level of education who want to get into music? What would you say their first step should be toward achieving that kind of goal?
Well, speaking from experience, because I went to Manchester to do a music degree, and I think for me, I mean, God, to be honest, I didn't apply myself as much as I could have because you go to uni and you. I mean, but when you're 18 and you go to uni, you think that everything might just come to you because but you've got to get out and do it yourself. You've got the world's not going to come to you. So the music for me, the music degree means nothing. It's about the experience that actually applying yourself, meeting people, getting to know people, and doing it that way. So if you don't do that, then it's you're going to find it a lot harder. So I think if you're getting into music and you've got to be passionate, you've got to realise that you've got to imagine that this is the only thing I can imagine myself doing, and you've got to be relentless and resilient because unless you're really really lucky, then it's very hard to break through. So yeah, don't coast along like I did and just party for 3 years. Although it was amazing, but I actually get stuck in.
No, yeah, no, great advice there. Actually, yeah, it's like the degree is just a thing on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? It is about the talent and putting yourself out there. So yeah, no, absolutely, just make those steps. I mean, so to end off with a really big question, then, out of everything that you've done, what would you say out of all of it has been the biggest challenge of it so far?
In my music career, to be honest, just like I said, just doing a lot of it myself. But now I've got people around me who are helping me out now, who are making the job a bit easier. But I think also like the biggest challenge is just these days is getting seen by people in general. You think how saturated the market is now. Everyone's wanting to be an influencer now. We're getting to the point where there's AI artists on Spotify. It's hard enough trying to compete against actual humans. Never
Oh
mind
yeah, stressful.
AI artists. So
There was that
just have to,
Brazilian song recently that's gone absolutely massive, and there were just no real people behind it, right?
that Velvet Sundown band.
Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad song to be honest, but
No,
like
that's what's annoying about it.
exactly. But like no, just actually being seen and it's hard enough to even get noticed these days. Never because there's so much noise going on.
No,
So
absolutely. Market's insane, isn't it? It's like I think it's any creative industry, isn't it? Like you say, it's like just people wanting to be influencers. It just crowds it, doesn't it? It almost it projects everyone, but when everyone's projected, no one's projected. You know what I mean? It's like that is the tricky side of it, I suppose. So go on then. You've obviously just done the flash mob. You've got music out now. You've got music coming up. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like talk a little bit about it. What you got coming up? Let us know.
So I'm going to be announcing it next week, but I've got a UK tour coming and an Ireland tour as well. I'm going over to Dublin as well
Awesome.
for a headline tour. So I mean, it's been a mad year, and it's just a good year to celebrate, like to round the year off. And what I say to people as well is like, there's some people who just like me for the Queen stuff. There's some people that bang into my music, and some people like a bit of both. But what I say to people, just come along anyway because you'll have fun. You know what I mean? We'll have a laugh, and even if you like one song, you'll still have a good time. Because for me, I just like to be with people, it gets people out the house. So I've got the tour. I've got a support tour next year, in Germany, coming up with a techno DJ called Alex Christensen. So we're going around Germany doing that. But I think this is
Awesome.
just the start. I think it's only going to get madder and madder. So I'm riding the wave.
Yeah, we're gonna say it's exciting times for you, isn't it, with everything that's happened recently? So I mean, yeah, just massive, massive congratulations on everything that's happened both recently and on your entire journey. It's been absolutely mental for you, but honestly, mate, you've done absolutely incredible for yourself. So I mean, just massive thank you for coming along. Massive thanks for talking to me.
No, no, no. Thanks very much, Jaden.